Module 2, Creating Your Sway Presentation. In this tutorial, you will learn how to create a sway that contains your original content and ideas. To get started, we will open Sway from your Office 365 menu. To create an original presentation, we are going to select on the Create New button. This will open Sway. The first step in creating your sway is to give your sway a title that is appropriate for the content you wish to present. This title will be used to search for media to add to your presentation. From this point forward, we will refer to the white rectangles on which we enter text and graphics as cards. Here I have entered my title onto my card. We can alter the text and media on the card as well as group the media arrangement on the cards by using the menu on the left. The next thing I want to do is add a background image to my title card. In order to do that, I'm going to click on the Insert button at the top, and we're going to see a search that has come up on the left that was based on the title of my presentation. Since I'm going to focus on adaptations, I'm going to check the pictures under the Adaptations title. I really like the example of the Galapagos tortoise. It's a great example of an adaptation of an animal that lives on the Galapagos Islands. So I'm going to look through the images of the tortoise. I can tell how the tortoise picture is going to look by checking the image clarity here at the bottom left of each image. So the higher the number, for instance right here, of the iguana, the more clear the picture will be. And I don't really see a lot of tortoise pictures with a very high clarity. So I think I'm going to go with this nice picture of the marine iguana. And I'm going to drag his picture right here onto my card in order to add him to the title card. Notice that over here where I've searched for my images, I have kept this box checked that states Search Results and Show Images tagged with the Creative Commons license. This way, you will only be sharing pictures that are allowed to be shared over the internet and for your presentations, and you won't infringe on any copyright issues associated with sharing images and media off the internet. Now I want to add subsequent cards to my presentation. This is very similar to adding slides into Prezi or PowerPoint, whatever presentation software you're used to. Here we can simply add a card by clicking the plus sign and deciding which kind of card we would like. I'm going to add images to my card, so I'm going to add an image card. Now I want to tell where the Galapagos Islands are located. So I'm going to type in my text to my card that's going to describe where the islands are located. I'm going to come over here to my search and I'm going to type in the Galapagos Islands. I really like a map that shows where the islands are in relation to South America, because I think not everyone knows where they're situated off the coast of Ecuador. So I like this picture here where it shows the islands off the coast, so I'm going to drag it here. For my next card, I'm going to again add an image, and I'm going to add an image to tell about Charles Darwin, because he was an important person that sailed to the Galapagos Islands, and there he came up with his theory of evolution. So I'm going to put a picture of young Darwin in this space because this is about what he looked like when he went to the Galapagos Islands. And for my fourth card, I'm going to add another image, and I'm going to tell a little bit about natural selection. So I'm going to look for an image that might represent natural selection. This is a quote by Darwin talking about how animals would need to change in order to survive on the island. So I'm going to describe that on my card and insert the image. A quick way to add more than one graphic at the same time is by clicking them. For instance, I'm going to put a picture of the long-necked tortoise into my presentation, as well as a picture of the short-necked tortoise from the Galapagos, and going up to the green button that says Add. If I push this, both images will be added into cards. Here you can see that both of the images were added to the bottom of my deck. Now I'm going to add a caption to these photos. So I'm going to say this is the short-necked tortoise with a domed shell. Here I'm going to say this is a long-necked tortoise with a saddle-like shell. So these are my captions for my two images. I'm going to group these two cards together so that I can make a comparison. So by grouping images or grouping cards, I'm going to check these little boxes here and I'm going to group them together. Now they're going to appear in this box as a group. I would like to compare these two tortoises because they have different adaptations. So I'm going to come down here on my left-hand side under Group Type, and I'm going to click on Comparison. Now these images will be compared in my presentation. By grouping cards and images, we can create dynamic imagery, emphasize certain parts in our presentation, and compare and contrast concepts and images in our presentation. Let's see what this comparison looks like to the viewer. There are two ways to view your progress: preview and play. To preview, I will restore my preview tab by clicking this left arrow. Now I can hit preview to see my presentation. However, I prefer to see it exactly like my viewers will see it. So I'm going to select the play button on the top black menu bar. This is what my presentation looks like so far. The buttons that will advance the content are found at the bottom right-hand corner of your presentation. As you can see, Sway displays the cards you created in a visually stimulating format. Here I have my title slide with my iguana picture that I dragged in, along with my title that I entered. Each of these images represent the cards that I created in my Sway. In order to see the remainder of the text, I can put my arrow, my mouse over the text and click on it, and it'll give me the rest of the caption that I entered on my card. Let's advance the slide and look at the rest. Here you can see I've inserted a YouTube video that will enhance my presentation. The viewer can simply play the video by clicking the play button on the image. I did this the same way I click and drug the images over into my cards. I simply just drug the video instead. More on inserting media into your presentation will be covered later in Module 2. Here is my comparison of the tortoises. So this slider bar will move over so that you can view one of the images. If you look here, there is a little icon that indicates there is text or a caption about the image. So if I click on that, it'll give me the caption that refers to this image that I'm looking at. Then I can slide over the slider bar, and again I see that I have text, so I can click on that and it'll give me the caption of the long-necked tortoise. This is a really dynamic way that you can compare and contrast different content and concepts within your presentation. There are two buttons that can dramatically change the way the viewer sees your presentation. So let's go back to Edit and look at those. I'm going to click on the pencil in the top right corner to get back to my editing screen. Now my cards will appear. So let's look first at the Design button. So I'm going to click on Design. Design will allow you to change fonts and the relationship between the fonts and the graphics with the click of one button. So here you can see many different preset designs to choose from. Because mine is a biology presentation, it's kind of like the natural world, I'm going to go with like this nice green color to see what that will do to my presentation. So I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to go back to my presentation. I like this a little bit better. Next, let's see what the Layout button does for us. The Layout button will change the card position or overall direction in which your presentation is viewed. I'm going to click on the Layout button to see what my options are. I currently have selected this horizontal arrangement. I like the horizontal arrangement because when people are viewing my presentation on an iPad, they can easily swipe through the presentation to view it in its entirety. That is the one that I currently have selected. If you wanted a more vertical approach or look to your presentation, you could select the top option. I'll click on my preview and this will show you what that looks like. Here you would use your scroll to scroll down through your presentation. If I go back to my layout view, the last option here is more like a PowerPoint presentation. So if you select this, it's going to present in a more traditional way. Each card is represented as a separate slide. So give your next presentation some Sway swagger. Click on Create New and see what you can do. Thanks for watching. Up next, Module 2.2, Creating a Sway from an Existing Presentation. And don't forget to complete the quiz upon completion of Module 2.